think it's better. Is it better? I think it's better. Okay, I think it's better. I just made a 17-second live stream that was frozen and had to delete it, so I'm 3 minutes late. Hello, Clam Heaven, uh, Puer, Abusis. You guys never have names that mean anything. They're always too long to read. 26G Gaming says, "I love your channel, bro." Good, thank you. I like the unending praise. Pray for us, Florida people. Are you getting a hurricane? Are you getting bad Florida stuff? There's like a lake here, or is it here? I don't know. There's just Florida lakes. This is like the no-go zone. It's the Everglades. People can only live like here and here, and then here is pretty much good. And I think that there's a hurricane that's gonna go like through Florida, where I'm not gonna live. I'm not gonna live in Florida because I can't afford a block of concrete large enough to sustain a hurricane, a huracan, huracan, huracan. Not bad up here in Pensacola. Yeah, I've been advised to live in Pensacola. I'm not sure. I don't like any of the things that I've seen so far. Peter Palma says, "I wish I had your channel when I was younger." Yeah, so do I. That's why I'm making it. Most houses come with hurricane insurance. That's not a selling point. That really is not like a, "You should come to Florida." Most of the houses have hurricane insurance built in. Oh, okay. That sounds awesome. Do I get a free question since I was here early? Well, until people start paying for questions, you can just ask whatever you want. No, there's a paid one. Baxter Maxter. Moral indignation is a technique used to endow the idiot with dignity. Marshall McLuhan. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, according to the level scale that I use, like you can break it down any number of ways, and I like to do it into nine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you can also break it down into three, and there's like pre-social, and then social, and post-social. And this is like personal. So this is individuated people who develop their own perspectives on things, and this is conformist, and that would be people who follow the crowd and they look to each other for answers, and they go, "Well, everyone else around me is Catholic, so I'm Catholic. It must be right because all the people around me are," and that's where answers come from. Um, and then there is selfish, and that would be whatever gets me a cookie. Like the mafia, like, "Oh yeah, I'll cut his head off. I'll shoot that guy if it gets me enough dollars." That's pre-social, pre-conformist. And then conformist would be, "Well, that's not the right thing to do because I checked on other people and they checked on me. And that's how we know what's right." I'm a source truster. I'm a just world believer. People get what they deserve because they have to, because it makes me feel that way. And then And then the personal is when you individuate from society and you go, you know, these people don't actually seem to know what's going on. You think about things for yourself and you come up with your own ways of relating to it. And what you just said about Marshall McLuhan there, uh, moral indignation is a technique to endow the idiot with dignity. That's these people right here. These people who think they're smart, but they're not. They just go, harumph, and they make faces like this. And they go, harumph. Everyone around me is right. Pff, like a cartoon. Everyone around me is right, and I get praise from them, so I must be right. And they have their moral indignation. And it gives them dignity because they can't like figure out what's going on for themselves. So yeah, for sure. Good quote. Donald DeMarco says, "Yeah, you get your house in Florida gets it comes with the insurance." You can see right through this table. This is my light right here. I'm in a different Airbnb today. I'm just sailing all over the place. So yeah, but we were talking about getting hurricane insurance, Huaracan insurance, for your house in Florida. And Donald DeMarco says, yeah, you have insurance until you need it. And then they discard you like so much of yesterday's, club girl. Let's see. So you're in your late 30s, also aren't level 7 a breaching point. Why is it the social level? That question is a little complicated. Level 7 is not the social level. Level 4 is the first social level. Your recent crisis video was great. Thank you. Metroid Man says, "Where do I give him money?" Oh, I don't know. Someone tell Metroid Man how to buy a question. If you pay for a question, Metroid Man, I'll answer it, but also if there are no paid questions, I just answer the ones that I like at random. Olive and Oliver says, "I've lost over 100 pounds and almost a six pack. Cool. Although I still struggle with the fat kid mentality. When does the mental catch up with the physical?" Well, when you start believing in it, you have to start choosing to believe in your new experiences over your old ones. So you're going to have people who react to you in new ways, Oliver. And, um, and you're going to have to trust those new reactions. And you're going to have to say, oh, that's for me. That person is reacting that way for me. And I deserve it because I earned it. That's what I did. So now when people tell me that I'm stupid and my work is garbage, I just go, "You're an idiot." And when they say you're amazing and your work is you're a savior, I go, "Yes, correct." I just believe in the stuff that works for me. I don't really I don't care about the opinions of people who don't get it or the people who want to keep being dumb jerks. So if you lost the weight and you're looking better and people are giving you new reactions, just believe in the new reactions. Don't keep going back to the old one and just go, yeah, well, they must be doing that for some other reason. No, they're doing it because they feel like it. Just chilling and killing. Sent $10 with no question. Cool. Thank you. And it says, let's celebrate their fifth super on a live stream. How do you celebrate it? I clicked to celebrate it and it went immediately to report. Thanks, YouTube. Wants me to report you for giving me $10. Are you ever going to do a face reveal? Probably not. Do you want to remain faceless? Probably. What would it benefit me to show people my face? I'm getting old. I'm not as attractive as I used to be. I'm also kind of fat right now. Um, I've been on the road and just eating road food and not exercising as much. And like, what's it gonna benefit? Like, some people will say, "Oh, he's attractive," and some people say, "Oh, he's ugly." Some people will call me a liar about all the stuff I said, and I'm not like a 10 or anything. I'm a above average face guy, and I have a lot of muscle. And when I'm thin, I look better, but also I'm old. Like 40 just doesn't look good as 26. What is it gonna benefit me to face reveal? Why would I do that? Why would I wanna do that? This is working for me, and then I'm gonna go, "Hey, everyone, here's what I look like." It's not gonna help. Okay. Let's see. Rose Gilderstern. How does integral theory integrate into the self-max AI, and which AI is it based off of? Oh, that's a good question. I think that it's OpenAI. Is that a thing? Is that an AI? OpenAI? Because I think that's the one that we were talking about using during production. Those are questions that are better suited for the developers. How does integral theory integrate into it? I used it to design it. So what we did was when we were designing SelfMax, the developers reached out to me and said, you know, what do you want to create? I told them what I wanted to create, and I said, you know, I want it to do. I want people to be able to input this and this and this, and then have the option to input this and this and this, and then ask it for help with this, and it'll output, all these things. Well, here's the thing about you, and here's the thing about you, and here's what you want help with. And so we think that this would be a good idea for you. And in this structure, like that's where I put integral theory. I designed it around the levels, those are included, the quadrants are included, your personality type is included, the way that you answer the questions the AI responds to. It's just designed around the integral theory map. And also, it uses the developmental levels in the level check section and in the desires section. So when you're telling it about what you want in your life, it'll give you a readout of how you're going about getting those things. So, for example, I put in my I can't remember which one, but one of my desire sections, I just gave it honest answers, elaborate honest answers, and it told me that I was at level 3 in that section. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like I definitely am behaving in a way that's probably pre-social in that a particular area of my life. So it feels like it's giving really accurate feedback about how you are applying your development across different areas of your life. So like it's integrated right in down to the nuts and bolts. What else did you say? Which AI is it based off of? I am an AISME. He's a SME. SME. I wonder if I could draw him. Probably not. He's got like the pirate cap. The little. Do you have a beard? Did SME have a beard? And glasses. Um, so he is. I'm an AISME, and if possible, which LLM is getting my info or is anonymized? God, that's a really good question because people have asked me a few times, like, is your personal information going into an LLM? And if so, like, what does that make it searchable? That's probably a good question for me to ask the developers because I have kind of just assumed that they would not let people's private information become public or get leaked. But I don't think I ever specifically asked them about it. Like, I'm the integral theory designer and the coaching designer, and these guys are doing the tech. So tech questions are just kind of over my head. But I'll ask them. Which LLM is getting people's info anonymized? Seems like that's important. These guys know what they're doing, though, so I assume that they thought of all the important stuff. Casey Olson says, "Where was this math class while I was in school?" I mean, I was probably in school at the same time, learning the same stuff. Kai Salis says, "Live in a large shared house. New female housemate is my type. Should I try? Take it slow. I've seen that work and I've seen that not work. Best way without making things awkward, let her give you signals. Do you know how to read signals? Let if just, be yourself around her, and if she gives you signals, then you can take them. Um I've been in a lot of situations with women who I did not plan on doing anything with, but after spending enough time with them, they keep saying things like, "Oh, we look like a couple, and people are gonna think that we just had sex or something." They say things like that, and they look at you certain ways, and they start listening to you and responding to you and repeating things that you've said and absorbing your opinions. And if you know what signs to look for, you could, do that in a co-living situation without things becoming bad, but you have to be skilled at it. You can't just go, "I like your boobs," and hope that she isn't grossed out and threatened by you after that. "I'm tall, in shape, and have been told I'm handsome, but am unsure in this scenario." You got to be able to read signs, because if you're going to try stuff with women and fail, they can't live with you. That's because that's going to be weird forever after that. So make sure that you know how to read signs, and make sure you know how to determine that she's comfortable with whatever you're saying and doing. Justin Madison says, "If you need help finding where to live in the US, I spent 2 years researching where to live as safely as possible for America's collapse. I'm also a veteran." Okay. Yeah, you could inbox me. You could go to my link tree. I should probably put my link tree. Um, linkter.ee/HOE_MATH. Um, you can go there and contact me if you want to tell me more about it. I am assuming that west of the Rockies is better because 80% of the people live east of the Mississippi. Um, I don't know. I'm willing to hear you out though. I have like a month before I have to find a place to live. It's October. So like November, December, I can't do this for 2 more months, maybe 1 more month of just driving around. So yeah, I'm open to it if you want to tell me. The Tall Tech says, "Do you plan on doing a video on the subject of Calhoun's rat utopia experiment and the results of that experiment, such as behavioral sync?" I think that rather than me doing a video on that, you should just watch What If Alt his video. Rat Utopia. I heard it called Mouse Utopia. Mouse Utopia. It's What If Alt Hist on YouTube. I think you should just watch his video because he covers it pretty well. And I think my take on it would be very similar and probably unnecessary. And I have a lot of other work to do. Like, I'm going to do a lot more short videos responding to girls being dumb, like that fat girl recently who went on a date and, you know, ended up being 300 pounds more than she looked. I know exactly how to make a video about that. I'm pretty sure that that one's gonna be a hit. I just have to find it, make the video while it's timely. I've gotta do a bunch of those for a while. I'm gonna make a bunch of short ones. I just did a 40-minute video, and doing another, like, rat utopia, it's too soon, and it's less important. Watch What If Alt Hist. Watch his. Just chillin' and killin'. Would you expound, clarify your tattooed women theory? I don't know if I have that much of a theory. I introed my girlfriend to your work, which she enjoyed thoroughly, but we both disagree that they're profoundly loose. It seems very naive for you. I'm not sure what you said in the last half of that message, but women with tattoos are perceived as being looser than women with tattoos. It makes you look like you don't really care about the future and like you don't really care what people think about you and you do what you want. It's associated with drug use and being promiscuous and, going to jail and violent, dangerous. It basically is it's a demonstration that you live for the moment because anybody who gets a tattoo ever, you're going to change over time and your tattoo probably won't mean the same thing to you later on in life unless you're very careful and you choose something that you like a flower or a butterfly or something, but then that's kind of boring too. Um, but it's sort of a sign that you live in the moment, that you have a what is it called? A small time preference or a large time preference? Whichever is the smart people one, it shows that you have the other one. And it kind of means like I want to draw on my skin today because it's fun and I don't care how I feel later. And that makes people think, oh, she's probably promiscuous. So it doesn't mean that you are. It just means that people think you are and they're going to treat you that way. I'm not actually sure if there's an association between tattoos and being promiscuous, but people feel like there is. Olive and Oliver says, "Do you know alpha male strategies?" He's so good on so many topics. I don't. Are you talking about a person? Are you asking me if I know any strategies to be an alpha male, or is there a person called alpha male strategies? I don't know of that person. And if you're asking me, so that's your answer is I don't know that person, but if you're asking me if I know any alpha male strategies, then you can see them in my videos. Marcos Bribieska. Is the pursuit of self-maxing enough to raise ourselves on the levels of thinking, or is there a particular pursuit area of study that is needed? So I believe that if you pursue self-maxing the way that I am prescribing it, believe that you will go higher on the levels because the way that I have designed it requires you to do more introspection. And introspection is thinking about thinking, and that's how you go up on the levels. So I believe that it will help. Um, so my answer is yes, I think so. That the pursuit of self-maxing is enough to raise yourself on the level scale. I think so. Now you also say, is there particular pursuit or area of study that is needed? And I believe that actually, if you study developmental psychology and integral theory, that will help you move up faster. Like if you read Ken Wilber and spiral dynamics and all of the source material that I use to create this stuff, that'll help you move up faster too. It definitely popped me up. Like when I learned about integral theory, I was definitely in level six. One, two, three, four, five, six. I was definitely there. And then I learned about integral theory and I popped up to level seven as soon as I started reading it. Because it was kind of boiling in the back of my mind. I was kind of like, this doesn't really seem like all there is to life and the world, this stage that I'm in and that everyone around me is in. um and I was working on like, what is it that's missing, and then I read Ken Wilber and it just went like bam, that's what was missing, is a whole book full of it. And they call that scaffolding. That's the word for that. uh so like that happens with Japanese guys or Japanese people. They'll move to Western countries and they'll be living in this very level four paradigm, like level four, level five ish, somewhere around there. And then they move to the United States and we're living at level five, level six, and they get scaffolded and they learn to be new people and they learn to be individualistic instead of to be confined by their culture and then they don't want to leave. So yeah, being surrounded by something that can scaffold you up a level will do that. Unfortunately, there are not really any level 7 communities except for, I believe, Integral Life, who I've been meaning to do a commercial for. I promised to do a commercial for them in like March, and I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off ever since then, and I never got around to it. It always makes me feel so stressed out when I promise to do something for someone and I don't get around to it. Um, my crisis video was supposed to be done on August 10th. That really stressed me out not getting it done until yesterday. So yeah, um, pursuit of self-maxing will help, and then also reading about development and spiritual all that stuff, and being in a level 7 culture if you can find one. Roaming Hipster 44 says, entered my 30s, radically changing my life. Level 7, lifting weights, controlling vices, etc. Life has gotten really good. Should I just let myself enjoy and explore that for a while or slam on the gas? It depends entirely on what you want. Do you want a family and a house and a career and all that stuff? Slam on the gas. 30s, like you entered your 30s. So you're 30, 31, or 32, somewhere around there. Slam on the gas. If you want a life like a Ernest Hemingway kind of, you know, Charles Bukowski roaming around, doing your own thing, discovering the world, having adventures kind of life, then you don't have to slam on the gas. But if you're a man in your early 30s and you're just raising your value, um, and you want all that stuff, you need to realize it takes years. Like once you meet the right woman and buy the right home, and my cousin met the right girl, and they lived in different states, and they had to decide where to live, and then they moved, and they had arguments about which home, which state, and which part of the country, and who's going to make the money and stay home, and that takes years, especially in modern times. It's not like you're just going to like if you're 31 now, then you're just going to get to 35 and just like pick a girl and plug her into your house and have kids in a year. It's more complicated than that. So if you really want the American dream, hit the gas. It's late. If you're in your 30s, it's getting late. It's like autumn, you know? 50s will be the beginning of winter, maybe 45. Hacks. Hacks says, "You the man, buddy. I'm 28 and I thoroughly enjoy and learn from the content you create." Thank you. I appreciate it. Sylvia 168 Lance. Very helpful videos. A guy friend sent me to your channel to help me understand what dating is like for him. I'm 25, making 500K a year and in a 5-year relationship, but trying to be less clueless. Good, great. What are you doing that you're making 500K a year? Um, Lucky guy in a 5-year relationship with a wealthy woman. Um, I always talk about how guys don't really need women to make money, and that's true. Like I've dated, like I recently moved in with someone and then she moved out. In case you don't know this story, I lived with a girl for a little while and she made no money and I supported her entirely. And on my travels, I have spent time with another girl who is really struggling in the money area, and I could rescue her and save her life. And there are things about that that are very, alluring as well. But that idea of meeting someone who makes a half $1 million a year, I've known women who had a lot of money and took care of me, and it's nice. But I do very easily pick up women who make no money. So anyway, Sylvia, thank you for that. And yeah, I hope that it does help you be less clueless, and lots of other women also. I really like it when women learn from my stuff. It's very satisfying because I know how resistant most of them are. Olive and Oliver says, "What do you think of CRISPR DNA manipulation? How will that affect physical attractiveness when everyone is optimal in the future?" Well, I don't know if it works like that. So, what I always tell people when they talk about technology that isn't here yet, and when they talk about the future and what's coming, I always say, I mean, basically, it's just basically don't count your eggs until they're hatched. Don't count your chickens until they're hatched. Yeah, that's don't count your chickens until they're hatched. Don't put all your chickens in one egg basket and then hatch them before you count. Don't count your green grass on one side of the fence made of egg baskets before you um, feed the other wolf within you. I can't remember any of the phrases anymore. I'm retarded. Um, but it's don't count your chickens before they're hatched. We don't know what CRISPR is going to do. Show me a person who has received CRISPR. Show me a person who has gotten the CRISPR technology and got more attractive. If that's real, and we are doing it, then prove it to me. And if we can do that and it doesn't cause, cancer and psychopath screaming, murder, nerve damage, and all that stuff, then I'll be all for it. If we can make technology that does stuff like that, I'll be all for it. But there is a law of exchange in reality, and I think if we start shooting people with CRISPR to make them prettier, we might see some downsides. It's just me. Maybe that's just me, and maybe I've just seen too many alien movies, but I think that we might see some weird side effects. So don't worry about CRISPR until people start getting CRISPRed and you see the effects of it. That's what I would say. But to answer your question, if everyone's attractive in the future, I think that people will just be less stressed out about, you know, being ugly. Like, we'll have less people who are mad because they're ugly. What type of economic, oh, Math 1989. What type of economic system do you see emerging as more men remove their labor from the exploitative federal tax economy? What does it look like? Okay, so I believe that it was in Rome, in the Roman Empire, as men gave up because they were going through their own crisis and their own collapse. They instituted a bachelor tax because no one wanted to marry their crazy women. And then the men just paid the bachelor tax. And they said, whatever, if that's what you're going to do, I'd rather pay the tax than marry these awful harpies. Um, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And what if Alt Hist thinks that there's going to be like an incel uprising, like a violent revolution of the young men? And I think that he's more accurate. I think that that's more correct than that men are just going to lay around smoking pot and taking the abuse. I think that they're boiling. So you say, what kind of economic system do you see emerging? I see it becoming more and more socialist until the men crack and can't take it anymore. Gabriel Torres says, we need to change cat ladies to dog ladies. Most of them get dogs as surrogate children now. Well, what would that help? Like one fur baby or another. What does that help? They use them in the same way. The only difference between cat ladies and dog ladies is that the cat ladies have toxoplasmosis. I would rather be with a cat girl than a dog girl. Dogs are annoying. I don't know what else to say about that one, Gabrielle. We need to change cat ladies to dog ladies. I don't know if you can make them change. Most of them get dogs as surrogate children, but they get cats as surrogate children too. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a cats versus dogs video. The difference between cats and dogs. Have you ever noticed that the dogs want to get outside and cats want you to go outside? It's my 1980s comedian hack comic. Hank O'Flamo says, "How do I make my own angel of attraction since I don't fit the existing pigeonholes? Just be yourself doesn't work for me." What are you talking about, Hank? How do I make my own angel of attraction? You mean like a snow angel? You gonna lay down in like Playboy magazines and make an angel of attraction? Since I don't fit the existing pigeonholes. That's not really what a pigeonhole is either. Just be yourself doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for anyone. Hank, I don't know what you're asking me. If you're asking me how to like become attractive if you don't feel like you are attractive now, I've made that very clear in my videos. You need to work on your physical fitness and the way you dress and the way you present yourself and the way you speak and the way, your confidence and your bad boy stuff. Like just read the bad boy things. You've got to be as physically attractive as you possibly can be and be as masculine and competent and confident as you possibly can be, and then there will be some women who respond to you and you pick from those. I've been over it over it. And then you will be being yourself when you do that. It's just a new version of yourself. If I just be myself from 25 years ago, I would be miserable and I would never have had experience with women. I chose to make myself better and it was just a different version of myself. Li Young Zhen says, Breaching 7 to 8 and starting to get a lot of attention from girls. You mean 7 to 8 on the attraction scale or the consciousness? Probably attraction. Resentful but held back by morals of my culture. Well, that's okay. Would love your take on how to proceed. Mid-20s, fit, training to be an economist. Well, you don't have to sleep around just because you're getting attention from girls. You can, find one who wants to be in a, uh, stable monogamous relationship. Where do you live? You know, morals of my culture. Is it China? Would love your take on how to proceed. Kind of the same advice as the guy before you. Um, Figure out who's reacting to you, pick from among those, pick the ones that you like, and then offer them what you want. Like if you really want to stick by your cultural morals, then pick one who will do that with you and then do whatever it is you do wherever you live. Don't worry about it. If you're trying to break out of your morals, then that requires individuation, which is a whole nother conversation. Ebiosh says, take my tithe, O prophet. Yeah, people call me Messiah and Prophet a lot. It's cool. Recommend learning Adobe InDesign over Photoshop for your work. It saves effort, time in the long run. A graphic designer, not for what I do. So I know InDesign and Photoshop. I have skills in both of those. I have used both of them professionally. For what I do, for the quick and dirty charts, just the shape tools in Photoshop are quick enough. They're quick and they're the only thing that InDesign has over Photoshop is that you can design text styles and paragraph styles with higher accuracy. But a lot of Photoshop tools are way more important than what InDesign has. But I get where you're going with that. I get where you're coming from. Rose Gilderstern, did you decide on SME as the word? I don't know. I don't think people are going to really get it. Like if I start calling people SMEs, I don't think like, it just doesn't feel right. It feels Disney. Like you're a Gaston. You're being a Gaston. That it just feels too Disney. It was a funny thread. I think that's all. That's as far as it goes. I'm probably going to keep calling them bugmen and dirt bugs and wokeoids and whatever swear words. Subject matter expert is overrated. SME as a title or descriptor. Love the material and taxation is theft. I agree. I agree. Taxation is theft. I think that we should be. I think we should live by voluntarism, but that's not possible in multiculturalism because we all want such different things. And I don't want to pay for their things. They don't want to pay for my things. So we must be taxed, which is violent. Hank Oflamo says, sorry, I put a few typos in because I didn't really care about the question because I already knew the useless answer. There is no solutions for me in current culture. Oh, that might be true. If I knew more about you, I'm trying to find Hank's first question. If I knew more about you, Hank, I might agree that there are fewer. Okay, how do I make my own angel of attraction angle? Since I don't fit the existing pigeonholes, just be yourself doesn't work for me. Okay, so it sounds to me, Hank, like what you're saying is that think that you don't think things are going to work for you. Maybe you're short or unattractive or something like that, and you don't think you can break out of it. My answer is going to be the same as it is for everyone else, which is, there are things about you you cannot change and things that you can. If you work on the things that you can change, you will see what difference that they make. And if they make a sufficient difference, then there you go. And if they don't make a sufficient difference, then yes, you're stuck. Like if you do the best you can and it doesn't make a difference and no one responds to you differently because you're so short or whatever it is that you don't like about yourself, then that's your answer. But if you don't try, if you don't self improve and see if people like it, then you're just giving up before you tried. So that's my answer for everyone. I'm not saying that you can compete with taller, more attractive guys. I'm saying you can compete for someone somewhere or something. Sometimes taller girls go for shorter guys. Takes longer for you to find one, but I'm just assuming you're short because you're black pilling. Ruminant kind says lost confidence, Eros turned victim way forward. You're trying to squeeze a big question into a small space, ruminant kind. Eros turned victim is more vague than you think it is. Lost confidence, I get that. Eros turned victim, way forward. I'm gonna ignore Eros turned victim. The way forward is for you to regain your confidence by going out and having more experiences that give you confidence. Don't be afraid of them. That's it. That's it. Just go have more experiences, and then when they are good, just go, "Hey, see, I can do it." That's everyone's big mistake with confidence. They wonder how they're gonna get it back without doing anything to earn it. It's like, "How'd you get it in the first place?" "Oh, right, I earned it." "Okay, we'll go earn it again." Dixon Steele says Kamala Harris equals Captain Hook. Walls equals Smee. I don't think that's true at all because Kamala Harris is not really in charge of anything. I think that Kamala Harris is Smee, and then Walls is like if Smee had a Smee. If Smee had like a green dripping deformed rat that like hid in his armpit or something and just went and you know, it was just too grotesque for a children's cartoon. I think that would be Walls. But Kamala Harris is definitely not Captain Hook. She's not in charge of anything. She's a puppet. She doesn't know where she is. She's probably less cognitively solvent than Joe Biden. Gabriel Torres is back. Women treat dogs like kids and impose their motherhood on the outside world. Yeah, we don't have to deal with the cats. Right. They don't go walking their cats and go, oh, my kitty. Um, I'm projecting onto my cat now. That's true. Dating dog moms is a nightmare. You'll always come after it as long as it's alive. Oh, really? So they put the dog before you like it's a kid? Yeah, I suppose they do. I've never dated a dog girl. I'm very, very turned off by that. Like anytime I see a girl who's spending a lot of time on her dog, I just go, I have elsewhere to be. But I was friends with a dog girl for a while, and she was into me. And yes, she did put the dogs before me. It was weird. Now that I think about it, I think you're right. Yeah, dog moms. Ugh. I think we should differentiate also between girls who have dogs and girls who think that their dogs are their kids. That's mentally ill. Kale says, I have a lazy eye. I once asked you if I should get surgery to improve my dating outlook, wear a patch, or just accept it. You couldn't answer. I've decided to face reality and just find a sugar baby. Yeah, I still can't really answer that. Like, I don't know what's involved in the surgery. I mean, I don't know if you're risking losing an eye. Um, I don't know what that's about. Like, I can't give you medical advice. Oh yeah, you should definitely get your eye cut up. Um, it's just it really this is probably exactly the same answer I gave you last time, but it's just up to you to assess how much money that's going to cost, how much risk there's going to be involved, and how much better it's going to make you look. And then figure that out for yourself because I don't know any of those variables. If you want to find a sugar baby, I guess you can do that, but it won't be fulfilling. Paying someone to like you doesn't feel good. Easy E says, I got a job offer for the same job I have, but at a higher salary. Okay. But my industry is overall turbulent going into the election. Excuse me, into the election. When is an opportunity bird in the hand versus two in the bush scenario? I wouldn't, I wouldn't not take the same job for a higher salary. How turbulent is your industry? If your industry is so turbulent, why wouldn't you lose your current job if it's turbulent going into the election? Are you saying if you switch jobs for more money, you'd be more likely to get let go than if you stay at your current one? Because if that's not true, take the higher pay. Again, this is something that I don't have sufficient information. Like, take the higher pay job. If you think that it's a much, much, much bigger risk of losing the job forever, then it's your call whether you think that that the security is better or the higher pay is better. I would go higher pay though. If I were you, I would go higher pay. But I don't know your situation or your needs or your plans. Juan Pablo Mendez says, I love your videos and how you dissect dating dynamics. and individual and collective behavior, but I wonder why a person this aware is not using his abilities to address greater issues or help people evolve. I am doing that. What are you talking about? Have you seen my stuff? Have you seen my Aquil stuff and my how I used to do life coaching? And have you heard of selfmax? Um, I should put that here too. Well, it's on the link tree. Selfmax.ai. Um, I don't really understand how people think like just because I have some ability that anybody anywhere in the world would pay me to do anything with it. I've had a lot of abilities for a long time and I've sent out thousands and thousands of job applications and people just say no. Why aren't you using your abilities to? Well, because people tell me no all the time. That's why I ended up on YouTube. This is the most successful I've ever been. And I am, doing my best to help people evolve. It's taking some time. Avocado Atrocities back. You were right. I did like your new video a lot. Great. Also, your Twitter is sunglasses face. Thumbs up. When's the next collapse video? I don't know if I'm going to do another one. I think I'm going to focus on the consciousness stuff for a little while, probably the rest of the year. Cover it from every angle: relationships, economy, social contract, contract, weekly subscription fee. I don't know if I'm going to do more collapse videos. I think that people understand that like there is a relationship between the sexual dynamics of a society and the integrity of that society and how it holds up, how the social contract holds up, what people are motivated to do, how safe it is, how the laws work. There's the way that people come together sexually to create children and families and the way that the society functions. Those things are intricately related, and people are just so naive and stupid. And they just go, well, we can just have 90% of men never touch a woman and work all day for pizza and marijuana, and they'll be happy with it. And they'll just shut up and be happy with it. And these guys are just boiling over angry and they don't want to do anything and they don't understand. The people have very low empathy. They don't get what they're doing when they change the structure of the world that much. They don't get the like we even have lots of historical evidence that polygamous societies have more violence. And we're like, why don't we just try polygamy again? Why is it getting violent? People are disappointing, very disappointing. Your dad's back says, Mr. Math, thank you. Your levels and zones video changed my life for the better. Great. Love to hear it. Any tips on how to maintain being at level 7, second tier and above? Yeah. Um, again, the thinking about thinking and engage in self max and read the integral theory, read the Aquil integral theory, read Ken Wilber, do all those things. But also, in order to crystallize it, you have to live your life in that way. Like mentally, I can get to level 8 and probably level 9 on most days if I try really hard. But when I apply it to my life, like my love life or my meaning in life, my purpose, it goes way down. It goes down a lot of levels because the intellectual ability that I have, when you apply it to your life, it's much more difficult. So your ideas for the way that you think when you're meditating or when you're staring at the sky or something, that abstract high level thinking that you have to apply it to your life in a way that works. You can't just lecture people and go, no, we should be like this. You have to actually be able to use your high level thinking in a way that has material results, and then that's crystallizing it. So you can't just be a thinker, you have to be a doer at those levels as well. So, start with thinking about thinking. Start with selfmax, sign up for selfmax.ai, read Ken Wilber, study the stuff, and then crystallize it, bring it down into your life. Haruhi-ist extremist. I don't know who Haruhi is, but there's an anime girl in the picture. And the question is just World War III question mark. Yeah, I think so. I think we're already in it. Gabriel Torres again says, have you tried reaching out to Ken Wilber while he's still alive? I've met him twice. briefly, and not like sitting down and him shaking my hand, but like I went to his apartment. Um, I don't know why I would reach out to him. I guess just to say thanks for the stuff. I guess I could try that. Maximus Lancaster says, deep breath. Have we forgotten our local physical communities in favor of of an ever developing online space? Yes, we have. Are our hearts closed to helping others? Mine is. I'm very, very tired of interacting with people in real life. I've got to go try again, but for the last few years, I just haven't been doing it since the big thing. Yeah, I think that people are really. I think low trust is the right way to put it. We used to have high trust societies, and now we have a low trust society where people don't like each other and don't think that their neighbors mean the best. Like when I grew up, I would leave all my doors unlocked in my house and my car because it never occurred to me that anyone would want to go in my house or car without my permission. I couldn't have imagined that until I was like 20. And then one time I was about 24, 25, and I was dating some girl, and I left my car unlocked in her parking lot. And it wasn't really in a bad town, it was just a slightly less good town. And somebody went through my car and tore open the steering column and ripped out the wires, and I was just like, "Oh, people will just take your stuff if you leave it there." Um, so we used to live in a high trust world, and we're going to a low trust one because of, you know, all the things that we know exactly what they are, and we know exactly what's causing them, and when you say it, people scream at you. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that. Yes, I can, because I'd rather live in a high trust world. So yeah, I think that you're right about that. Doctor says, "Hi HM, I moved to NA to become an artist. What's NA? New Auckland, North America, Narnia, NA. I moved to NA to become an artist and game developer, but I'm worried if girls here would find that attractive. Are creative jobs valued among girls? Game developer, probably they wouldn't care that much. Like if you if you go out on a Tinder date with a girl and she says, "So what do you do?" and you go, "I make video games." That's probably not going to tickle her in the right way. Although she will probably be happy that you have a decent paying job in technology and arts. What was the other thing you said? Artist and game developer. Yeah, creative jobs are valued among girls for sure. Like even if you're just like a musician or a painter or something, there are girls who like guys like that even when they're poor. So if you have a job that's creative and you're making money, yeah, that should definitely be interesting to a pretty large set of women. I don't know what you mean by NA though. Sounds like North America. Jiggle Slinky says, "Can't think of a question, so I'll just say your content is great, and I'm a little intimidated by the fast growth of your channel." Yeah, intimidated. That's good. People should be intimidated by my fast growth. Um, Thank you. The Milkman says the new creative lead for Halo Studios is a guy who hates guns and the Second Amendment. Oh, great. Let's have an anti gun guy make the gun game. That's perfect. That's the perfect encapsulation of wokeness right there. Let's make version 19 of this game that's based entirely on shooting aliens with guns. Who are we going to hire to be the lead? Oh, let's hire a guy who famously hates guns. Maybe they could play ping pong with the aliens, and whoever loses ping pong agrees to leave the planet. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice if we could have fun and play nice with each other? Wouldn't that be nice if we could agree and play nice and be good? I'm sure that that's how all of his dates go. I'm sure that's how he sounds on when he goes out with Tinder girls. Oh my god, you should be nice. That's how liberals talk on dates. They're very disgusting. Um, what's the rest of this? If they hate guns so much, then why do they insist on working for FPS game to ruin it? That's why. If they hate guns so much, but they want to work on the gun game, why would they do that? To ruin it for you, because they hate you, because they're goblins. Love your content. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Your says thank you. Going to save that clip. Cool. Also, copped selfmax. Great. You are true. You truly are my goat. And if you don't capitalize that, it sounds different. You my goat. And more people need to see your stuff. The left. What? Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. I hope selfmax helps. The Royal We says, could you try and have a chat with Jordan B. Peterson? I could try. I have insulted him on Twitter. I have been like, you are a hypocrite and this and that. And like, I just find it really upsetting how he started his entire career on standing up for the truth. And then it's like, hey, Jordan, could you tell the truth on this one very important issue? And he goes, you're a rat, and then won't talk to you. I, I really hate that. I really hate that. Wow. Um, so, if I ever spoke to him, I would probably steer the conversation directly to that. And I think that if he became aware of that, he probably wouldn't want me on. But maybe I could try. Maybe I could try to talk to him anyway. He definitely is a smart guy who's given the world a lot of value. It's just that one thing bugs me. Because it's pretty important. It's like that meme that I posted to Twitter where there's all these blocks that are held up by other blocks, and then there's like this large one, and then there's these other ones down here, and then there's just this one really thin block, right? That's supported on a big base. And the liberal NPC guy is saying, "I love this. This is what I live for. This is my values. But this right here, this is what I fight against every day. These old values. Oh, they're so regressive. Rrr. We need to get rid of it. Rar." And it's like, no matter how much you talk about this stuff and how good it is, and no matter how much value you provide up here, past this line, if you're letting this go or helping people destroy it, it kind of like invalidates everything else that you've ever done. So I probably would attack anybody who I perceive as doing that. So we'll see. We'll see how my career goes. We'll see if I am the subject of any attempts, if you know what I mean. Anyway, moving on. How many illegals, oh, the royal we again. How many illegals do you think Trump can deport reasonably, and do you think they will let him? I mean, reasonably, all of them. And all of the legal immigrants who shouldn't have been legal, and their children, and all the people who are like, well, I was born here. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have been. Like, if your parents were illegal and you're born here, you're not magically legal, but for some reason the law treats them as if they are. That's not okay. But what am I gonna do? Who cares? You shouldn't have broken our laws and ruined our country. So, like, reasonably, all of them, we could do that. It's like feasible. It's possible to do that. But do you think they will let him? I don't think that they will let him if they can stop him. I don't know to what extent they control him. I can't tell. I just don't know to what extent Trump has the ability to behave independently, and to what extent he has to obey his handlers. John Terry says, have you ever considered ketamine therapy? I was on ketamine therapy. I went for about 12 sessions, I think. it helped. It changed a lot very fast. It's my experience of being under the influence of ketamine is that all of the things that I need to get out, it's like it's like when you talk to somebody and they listen to you and they respond to you and they demonstrate that they understand, it helps you get it out. With ketamine, it's like you don't need another person there. And you can just go over and over and over and over all the stuff that's in your mind and it gets it out and it loosens it and it unravels it. It's pretty cool because no one understands anyway. So it's like it's pretty cool to have that as an out. It took a lot of pressure off. Do you have a friend that doesn't lean right wing? I had about 400 friends that were about as far left as you can go, and I stopped being friends with them a few years ago when I moved away. I used to live in a liberal city, and I was friends with all the liberals, and they loved me. They knew that I didn't believe the same things as them, but they thought I was great. They had, they respected me, and they thought I was funny, and I had a lot of friends. But now I don't keep in touch with any of them. So I think I have like one friend now. A few years ago, I had 400 friends, and now I have, I think, one. But yeah, I have recently have been a lot of friends with lefty people. It was actually very, very difficult to find anybody who leaned right, and still kind of is. KC says, "Hi, HM. I'm 23, decently attractive, and making decent money, but don't plan on or have ever been in a romantic relationship. Just wanted to say thank you for the great content that helps me stay focused on my goals." Oh, great. Making decent money, don't plan on have ever been. Well, it sounds like you're doing all right. So I think that there's plenty of promise in there. Just, keep looking up. I don't see a question in there, so I'll just say thank you. David J. Opinion on dating geo arbitrage. What? Opinion on dating geo arbitrage. 30s male, above average looks, intelligence, and income, was earning 75K, but 5'4". Thinking of marrying and raising family abroad. I don't know what geo arbitrage means. 30s male, above average looks, but 5'4". Yeah. If you're talking about being a passport bro, I think that if you think that would help you because you're short, like go to a place where the women are shorter, I think that might be a fairly effective strategy. Um, because you know how much fighting uphill you're doing here. So, like, try it, I guess. You're in your 30s. You don't have a whole lot of time left. You know how it's been in the country where you are. I would say try it. I wish I knew what geo arbitrage meant. I'll Google that later. The royal we again. The block analogy is one of my favorite ways of explaining to women how the world works. Oh yeah, yes. This meme is just excellent. That and the wolves and walls. Yeah, that one is good too. 86 the 19th to save the West. Oh yeah, he's saying get rid of the 19th Amendment, prevent women from affecting, have a girl election. That one was fun. If you don't know that meme, there was somebody saying that like instead of the 19th Amendment, we could have a girl election, and the girls could go play with stickers and glitter and vote for Minnie Mouse to make themselves feel good, but it doesn't count. So they could go, "I voted," and we go, "Yes, good for you, good girl." That was funny. I don't think I don't think that we're gonna get rid of the 19th Amendment. I don't think that that's realistic. I think we're gonna experience a major collapse before anything like that ever happens. Um, I think if we were ever going to do an overhaul to who votes, I think it should be based on intelligence tests, like the Ash conformity experiment, where they have the lines of different lengths, and they ask people like A, B, C, D, which is the longest line, and then people keep saying B because they're all in on the experiment, and then the person who's being tested also says B, even though it's obviously C. I think we should use that idea to test people for whether or not they're NPCs, to see if people can be independent thinkers and use reason. Because if you can't, then you're just obeying the TV and we don't need your vote. I think that would be way more effective than just saying, like, all women need to stop voting. Because it's not really true. I know women who I'm glad that they vote. Again, it's not many, but there's some. And, you're never going to get it by them. You're never going to be able to convince women, like, you should vote to get rid of your own 19th Amendment. It just doesn't work that way. Johnny Punchclock says, "Do legal immigrants to the U.S. have the same stigma as non-legals nowadays?" Well, it depends who you ask. Like, there are some people who are just completely sick of immigration, and like it's not helping. There aren't, like, if you ask me, there really aren't any arguments for more immigration to the United States. We have so much talent that's already here that's going unused and ignored. Why are we bringing in people? What benefit does it have? We already industrialized, and now we're post-industrial, and now we're an information-based economy, and we have people who could do the work but can't afford the school and don't live in the right area, and you're bringing in it doesn't make any sense. So, it depends who you ask, but yeah, there are a lot of people that I've spoken to don't want any immigration at all. But overall, do legal immigrants have the same stigma as non-legals? No. It's 2 different levels. A lot of people don't like illegal immigration, and there's some people who are still fine with legal. Haruhiist Extremist says, "Something that worries me is the response to the left-wing death cult related to what if Alt-Hist said in his Civil War incel revolution videos. It probably will be a horrible overcorrection." Yeah, there's a lot more anger. Like, leftoids don't really understand what they have done to the average person. They just think that they're so holy and good that everyone should just shut up and follow them and do what they say. And they don't understand how badly they've destroyed people's lives. They don't understand how much resentment has built up. And yeah, it seems to me like it might be a very strong overcorrection for sure. And that worries me too. Yeah, the response to the left-wing death cult. It's going to be interesting to see. Roger Penrose says, "I have some great leftist friends. Shouldn't I?" I guess so. I mean, I've had some friends who identified as leftist and I liked them. I was disgusted at their beliefs. I don't think I've ever told anyone not to have leftist friends. I just tell people don't be leftist because you have a brain disease. You have brainworms, basically, if you're leftist. Jacket says, "I worked in AI for about 10 years and could probably help out a bit on the AI part of selfmax if you're interested." Okay. I mean, if you want to offer, you have to get at me through the link tree. And inbox me. I have 2 AI developers already who are doing the coding, and if I send you to them, they might, I don't know if they're gonna be happy to have you or if they're gonna say, "Why are you sending me an AI guy? We're 2 AI guys already." So I don't know about that. But you could inbox me if you want. Okay, I'm gonna go soon. I believe it's about, what, an hour and 15 minutes in? And I think I'm getting less funny. Well, then again, there's 928 people here. I guess I'll hang on as long as I can. Ugh, curses. I want water. Um, Avocado Atrocity says, "If you understand arbitrage with money and markets, it's like that." I actually don't understand arbitrage with money or markets. He's taking advantage of his features in one area of the world in another for GF. If you understand arbitrage with money and markets, he's taking advantage of his features in one area of the world in another. So then what you're saying is that arbitrage is that there's a resource or a currency or a unit of value that exists in one area that has a different value somewhere else, and that's what arbitrage means? I think I get it. Bro, less talking and more deadlifts. Me? You want me to do deadlifts on camera? I think you're on the wrong channel. Sorry, needed some water. People tell me it sounds disgusting when I drink water, so I try to mute. The Royal We says, your back and forth on X with people about ghosting women with mixed kids has made my week. I think it might be engagement bait by others, but oh well. Yeah, I mean, I try to engage on X as much as I can, and say, whatever I want. Glad you enjoyed it. It was just weird. Like, I think that girl probably is engagement farming, but still, I have met women who, like, very early on when I was starting to get big, when my YouTube was less than 100,000 subscribers and my TikTok was probably about 200 to 300,000 way back in the first few months. I met this girl who seemed really amazing and I liked her a lot. And she let me get attached to her for about 2 weeks before telling me that she had 3 kids and she was still married and she was just getting sick of her husband and would leave me for him. And and then she acted like, what was I think the word that she used was hang up. She's like, "Why do you guys have such a hang up about me having kids? Why are guys so hung up on it? Like it was my fault for not liking it." Um, Bizarre. God, utterly bizarre. Why wouldn't I want to just marry someone who's going to spend all of her time and my money on kids that came from a different guy? Why would that bother me? It's just bizarre that women think that. It's so common too. Rose Gilderstern gave me $5 for a water break. Thank you. I don't know how that's going to help, but I mean, I know how the $5 is going to help. I'm certain of that. As far as the water break, I am going to guzzle water. I'm in a really weird Airbnb right now. It's very big and very comfy. I would show you, but all the lights are off. And also, every time I move my camera, it freezes, and then I have to shut off the live stream. But, I'm in a big comfy Airbnb right now, but it has no running water, so I have to actually exit to the outside and go to the bathroom and fill up a water bottle in the bathroom sink to get water. So I'm out of water, so I need to end the live stream to get. Okay, I'm gonna do that now. There are no more paid questions. I got them all, so don't send another one. Any paid question that comes in after 7:16 is going unanswered. So don't send it. I will not. I am not obligated to respond. So I'm going to go to the regular live chat and do a couple of unpaid ones. God, there's still 895 people here. Am I still on? Everything's freezing for me. God, I hate these moments when I don't know what's happening. Maybe I should just click end stream with 895 people hanging on. I guess I could just sort of like color in the Ho Math girl while I'm waiting for my computer to respond. She's pink. She's a pretty lady. Yeah, my computer's not responding. I guess that's perfect timing. So whatever's going on, sorry. Sorry to the 895 people, my 895 best fans. Good night. See you in a week. Bye.